Good morning, everyone. We're continuing here in KITZUR HILCHOS SHABBOS, starting a new malacha today called DOSH, which means threshing. DOSH mefarek, threshing and separating the grains. After you gather in all the stalks, for example, of wheat, and you put them into piles, the derech ledusha, the next thing is to thresh them. Hainu, what does that mean, threshing? Lahafrish hagarinim min akash. You want to separate the grain from the kash, from the stalks themselves. Toldasa lefarek kitnius miteicha shavitim hayaveshim. And the tolda, meaning a secondary element of this malacha, is when you have kitnius, you have beans and the like that are in dried out pods or stalks. And the hainu achash niskashu, after they became hard already, you can't eat the stalks the way that they are. This is very similar to when you want to remove the grains from the stalks of wheat. Just like over there, it's through the threshing that you are preparing the grain for being eaten. Because while the grain is attached to the stalks, they're not fit for eating. So when you do dosh and you do mefarek and you're removing them, that's how it gets it ready to eat. So too over here, by removing the kidneys, the beans, the legumes from their dried out stalk, you're also preparing them now to be able to be eaten. But if these shavitim, if these stalks of the legumes or the beans are all still soft and you could eat them as well, everything is considered to be food product. That means the beans and the stalk is all considered to be the same. And therefore, if you remove the kidneys, you remove the beans from those things, you come out first, that's just removing food from food, and that is going to be permissible, as we shall see later on. The next thing he writes is schita. What about squeezing the juice out of a fruit or the like? The prohibition of threshing, which means that you're squeezing out or you're separating the grain from the shoot over there, from the stalk. So the same thing applies to removing the juice, squeezing out the juice from the fruit when you need the mashka, when you want that juice for itself. Shigam schita is pri lamashka daim ladisha betivua. Just squeezing out the juice from the fruit is similar to the threshing of the produce, of the threshing of the stalk and getting out the grain. That means just like over there by trampling on something, doing threshing, you remove the grain from the stalks. And that is the way that you prepare the grains to be eaten. So too, when you squeeze something, you're removing or you're separating the juice from the food. You're not getting it prepared for something that it wasn't prepared for before. It wasn't ready to be drank from. It was within the fruit itself, and now you're making it roy l'shtia. That's going to be the issue. Not all fruits have the Torah prohibition of squeezing out the juice there. Even if you need the liquid for drinking. Only those fruits that the normal way that you deal with them is that you squeeze them out for their juice. According to Chazal, what is that referring to? Olives. Normally you squeeze out the oil from the olives. Va'anavim, and the grapes, You squeeze out the juice from the grapes to make either grape juice or wine. But those fruits that are not always squeezed, only in certain places do they squeeze them. This would even mean like orange juice. Oranges are not always squeezed for orange juice. Many of us eat oranges just the way that they are. On them, there's only an Issa Midrabanan, a rabbinical prohibition of squeezing. But even that prohibition rabbinically is going to be very strict for us. However, we are still more makel, we're more lenient over there. We're more makel, we're more lenient when it comes to squeezing out the grapefruits and the oranges and the lemons and the like. It's only in Issa V'Darabanan than we are, how stringent we are when it comes to the Issa D'Oraisa of the olives or the grapes, as we shall see. Have a wonderful day.